Hold on to your seats. This is your lucky day. In the studio with us is Muhammad Obabi, otherwise known as Bob Ellis. And Bob, we're just delighted that you're with us today. I looked at this book title and it just struck a chord. I want to visit with you a little bit about what some people call the Islamic tsunami. On the back of this book there's a picture of our president Barack Hussein Obama with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Interesting.
Given a choice, which president would you prefer?
Well, obviously, Prime Minister Netanyahu is not constitutionally qualified to be our president, but as far as the philosophies go...
I didn't think that mattered, because I'm not so sure...
That is an interesting question, isn't it? But philosophically, I think Netanyahu is a lot more in tune with American values than our current president is.
I agree with you, and I think most Americans do, frankly. When you see the reception that Netanyahu got before Congress... that was, I would call it Reagan-esque.
Yes, he was very well received. He gave an incredible speech that talked about the friendship of our countries, the shared values that our countries have historically had, and he was very well liked obviously among the people there in Congress, as well as the people out here in America.
One of his favorite lines is, "America has no better friend than Israel."
And that's absolutely true. I would like for the same to be true the other way, that Israel would have no better friend than America.
I think fundamentally that's true, but unfortunately this administration doesn't seem to embrace that philosophy.
Yeah.
I've heard recently that that by 2014 or 2024 the Muslims expect to have a president in the White House. I have suggested that they have already accomplished that goal.
Well, one has to wonder about that. I know that President Obama says that he's a Christian, has attended Christian churches for 20-something years, but whenever you look at some of the people that he associates with, I mean, we knew to some extent before he was elected that he had a number of associations with people with the PLO and with other pro-Palestinian, pro-Islamic organizations. We look at some of the statements that he has made himself about his time in Indonesia whenever he went to an Islamic school, and how much he appreciated the sound of evening prayers and that sort of thing. He seems just very, what's the word I'm looking for?
Muslim?
Well, he seems very friendly toward many things Islam. You
know, one of the tenets of the Quran is that it is acceptable, even somehow the moral high ground, to lie to infidels to achieve your objective. So proclaiming you're Christian would certainly be an easy lie to tell.
Yes, I believe that doctrine or belief is called taqiyya, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but yes, it's acceptable under Islamic law and theology to deceive the infidels if that protects a Muslim or advances Islam. And that makes it very hard whenever we have a genuinely moderate Muslim who may not be into a lot of the extreme jihadi type doctrines that some others are. It makes it hard sometimes for us to believe a person like that. Are they genuinely not interested in jihad, or are they just trying to pull the wool over our eyes?
You know, the question that I think I have and many other people have posed to me as well, where is the outrage of these, quote, moderate Muslims? I don't hear it. Do you?
We heard a little bit of that whenever the Ground Zero Victory Mosque came up a year or two ago. There were a few moderate Muslims that spoke out on that, but sadly...
Are they still living?
Well, I don't know. We haven't heard too much from them since then. But you know, going back to 9/11, we didn't hear anything that I recall about the outrage of that. In fact, what we did see was Muslims in various parts of the world, in Palestine and other places, dancing in the streets. Over nearly 3,000 Americans killed in one day.
Yes, and now we have a president who has many Muslims in his entourage, appointed to positions of high authority in the United States government.
Yeah.
What's up with that, Bob?
Well, you really have to ask some questions about that, because if a person truly believes in some of the core Islamic doctrines, they're really at odds with the Christian doctrine upon which our country is based. We recognize things like
But we're not a Christian nation.
Well, that's what they try to tell us, but the evidence is overwhelmingly clear
Yes, sir,
that we are founded on the Judeo-Christian values that each person is created in the image of God, and that we are endowed, as we say in our declaration document,
Yes.
with inalienable rights given to us by God. And Muslim doctrine just doesn't see things that way.
No, and ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of things that are very strikingly different about the Muslim doctrine. The doctrine of Islam is not what America was made to represent. And the more you know about this, the more concerned you'll become, and the more likely you are to stand up and do something about it. Over the past year and a half, the Life and Liberty Group has built a news network to keep you informed. Our internet news sites have had 750,000 visits, and now our television program has a statewide viewing audience as well as a national presence on the internet. We need your help. Will you please visit libertytoday.tv and make a donation? Do it now. With your help, we will turn this state and our nation back in the right direction.